From fearless leaders to sharp-tongued survivors, these are the trailblazers who made pre-code cinema unforgettable. So, which legendary characters made history before the rules changed forever? Let's dive into the 12 boldest female icons of Hollywood's most daring era. Lily Powers. Barbara Stanwyck's Lily Powers in Babyface is perhaps the most iconic pre-code heroine. Raised in her father's speakeasy and surrounded by men who see her as a possession, Lily quickly learns that the world won't give her anything for free. Instead of giving in or giving up, Lily decides to take control. She leaves her small town for New York City, and with shrewd calculation, uses her wits and charm to climb the corporate ladder, moving from one man to another, each higher up than the last. What makes Lily so remarkable isn't just her ambition, but her utter refusal to be shamed for it. She is unapologetic about her choices and the way she manipulates the men around her, but Stanwyck's performance adds depth. Lily is both calculating and wounded, and we sense the vulnerability underneath her tough exterior. In a world that expects her to be submissive, Lily turns the tables and writes her own rules. Babyface scandalized censors and audiences alike. The character's resilience and resourcefulness made her an anti-heroine for the ages, embodying the complicated reality faced by many women during the Great Depression. Lily Powers became a symbol of agency, defiance, and survival. A woman determined to get what she wants, no matter what the world thinks. Satie Thompson. Joan Crawford's Satie Thompson in Rain is another unforgettable pre-code figure. Based on W. Somerset Maugham's famous short story, Satie is a brash, independent woman who arrives in Pago Pago, hoping for a fresh start. But the local missionaries, led by Walter Houston's Mr. Davidson, see her as a threat to the island's moral order. Satie's boldness comes from her refusal to be judged or defined by others. She's not interested in living up to anyone's expectations, least of all those who want to reform her. As the story unfolds, Satie's fierce exterior is revealed to be a shield against the cruelty and hypocrisy of those around her. She laughs, she argues, she charms, but she never lets herself become a victim. The film walks a careful line, portraying Satie as both tough and deeply sympathetic. Crawford imbues the character with a sense of wounded dignity. Satie's journey isn't just about escaping her past, but about claiming the right to live her life on her own terms. Her confrontations with Davidson become a battle of wills, a showdown between joy and repression, honesty and sanctimony. Rain remains a classic not just for its story, but for the way it gives voice to a woman who refuses to be shamed or silenced. Satie Thompson stands as a reminder that sometimes the boldest act is simply refusing to apologize for who you are. Allison Drake. In Female, Ruth Chatterton plays Allison Drake, a character unlike anything seen before or since. As the head of a major car company, Allison is a shrewd, commanding presence in a world dominated by men. She's not just running the business. She's running her own love life as well, keeping her male employees at arm's length, except when she chooses to invite them in. Allison's boldness comes from her unapologetic embrace of both power and pleasure. She's a leader, a strategist, and a romantic, refusing to be boxed in by anyone's idea of how a woman should behave. When Allison falls for an engineer who doesn't play by her rules, the story becomes a game of equals, with both characters learning and challenging each other. Female caused a stir in its day for its depiction of a woman who runs both boardrooms and bedrooms with equal confidence. Allison Drake's independence, intelligence, and refusal to settle for less set her apart as a trailblazer, not just for women in film, but for anyone who's ever been told they can't have it all. Chatterton's performance is electric, blending steeliness with moments of surprising warmth. Allison is proof that strength and vulnerability are not opposites, but two sides of the same coin. Female remains a fascinating portrait of female empowerment, one that still feels radical today. Lady Lou. Mae West's Lady Lou in She Done Him Wrong is the very definition of boldness. Mae West, who wrote her own dialogue, was already a phenomenon on Broadway before bringing her signature wit and attitude to the big screen. As Lady Lou, she's a saloon singer in New York's Bowery, surrounded by admirers, rivals, and trouble. What sets Lady Lou apart is her effortless control over every situation. She flirts, she banters, she commands, always with a knowing smile and a double entendre. West's Lou is never flustered, never intimidated, and never outmaneuvered. Even when danger comes calling, she stays a step ahead, relying on her quick thinking and her unapologetic self-assurance. She done him wrong, broke box office records, and made West a household name. But the film's success is due as much to its central character as to its risque humor. Lady Lou became an icon not just for her sass and sparkle, but for her ability to thrive in a world stacked against her. Mae West's one-liners have become the stuff of legend, but what really endures is the sense of self-worth and agency that Lou embodies. She's not waiting to be rescued, she's running the show, and everyone else is just trying to keep up. Vantine. Jean Harlow's Vantine in Red Dust is the ultimate free spirit. Set on a rubber plantation in French Indochina, the film pairs Harlow's brash, streetwise Vantine with Clark Gable's hard-edged overseer. Vantine arrives uninvited, stirring up trouble and excitement wherever she goes. What makes Vantine such a compelling character is her humor and resilience. She's been knocked around by life, but she refuses to lose her spark. Whether she's bathing in a barrel or trading quips with Gable, Vantine is always in control of her own destiny. Harlow brings a vitality and playfulness to the role that makes Vantine unforgettable. Red Dust is as much about survival as it is about romance. Vantine's boldness isn't just about pushing boundaries, it's about holding on to joy in a harsh world. She refuses to be shamed, sidelined, or silenced. Instead, she fights for her place, on her own terms. Harlow's performance cemented her reputation as one of the era's brightest stars. Vantine is a character who lives fully, loves fiercely, and never apologizes for either. In the steamy, dangerous world of Red Dust, she's both a survivor and a shining light. Mary Martin. Dorothy McHale's Mary Martin in Safe in Hell is a survivor. On the run from a false accusation, Mary flees to a Caribbean island, a lawless haven for outcasts and fugitives. There, she faces danger at every turn but refuses to be cowed by her circumstances. Mary's boldness comes from her refusal to give up or give in. She's tough because she has to be, but she's also deeply loyal and protective of those she cares about. The film puts her through a gauntlet of challenges, but Mary's resilience never wavers. Safe in Hell is remarkable for its frank depiction of a woman navigating a world where the odds are stacked against her. McHale's performance is raw and real, capturing both the fear and the defiance that drive Mary forward. She makes mistakes, but she never loses her sense of self. What sets Mary apart is her willingness to fight for her own dignity, even when everything seems lost. Safe in Hell is a testament to the power of endurance and to the courage it takes to survive in a world that doesn't care if you make it out alive. Mary Martin's story is one of grit, resourcefulness, and hope against the odds. Jerry Martin. Norma Shearer's Jerry Martin in The Divorcee was a revelation. At a time when the double standard was law, when men could stray without consequence and women were expected to forgive, Jerry decided to rewrite the rules. After discovering her husband's infidelity, Jerry retaliates not by shrinking away, but by demanding equal treatment. Shearer's performance is nuanced and powerful. Jerry is elegant, intelligent, and unwilling to accept anything less than respect. The film follows her journey as she navigates heartbreak, self-discovery, and the pursuit of genuine happiness. Jerry's refusal to be shamed for her choices was groundbreaking. She claims her own desires and demands to be seen as an equal partner. The Divorcee was a sensation when it was released, and it won Shearer an Academy Award for Best Actress. The film's frank treatment of adult relationships and its portrayal of a woman who refuses to be a victim were both radical for their time. Jerry Martin's legacy is one of self-respect and determination. She fights for her own happiness and, in doing so, opened doors for generations of women who refuse to accept less. Carole King. Joan Blondell's Carole King in 3 on a Match is one of pre-code Hollywood's most memorable characters. Carole is quick-witted, loyal, and always looking out for her friends. In a world of uncertainty, she's the rock that others lean on. Carole's boldness is rooted in her honesty and resourcefulness. She faces adversity with a smile, using humor as both shield and weapon. Whether she's navigating the challenges of friendship, love, or survival, Carole never loses her sense of self. Three on a Match is a film about choices and consequences, but it's also about the bonds between women. Carol's friendship with the other two leads is the heart of the story, and Blondel's warmth and charisma make her impossible to forget. What makes Carol King a standout is her unwavering loyalty and her refusal to be defeated by hardship. She faces every challenge head-on, determined to protect the people she cares about. Carol is proof that courage comes in many forms, and that sometimes the boldest act is simply standing by your friends, no matter what. Ruth Wescott. Kay Francis's Ruth Wescott in Trouble in Paradise is a masterclass in sophistication and wit. As a wealthy perfume executive, Ruth is elegant, intelligent, and always in control. When a charming thief enters her life, the film becomes a sparkling game of cat and mouse. Ruth's boldness comes from her self-assurance. She's nobody's fool, and she's more than a match for anyone who tries to outsmart her. The film's dialogue crackles with double meanings and hidden agendas, but Ruth navigates it all with poise and grace. Trouble in Paradise is often cited as one of the greatest romantic comedies of all time, and Francis's performance is a big reason why. Ruth is alluring, but never naive, vulnerable, but never weak. She makes her own choices and stands by them, even when it means risking her heart. What sets Ruth apart is her quiet strength. She doesn't have to shout to be heard. Her confidence is magnetic. In a world of games and deceptions, Ruth Wescott is a woman who plays to win, but always on her own terms. Ivy Pearson. Miriam Hopkins as Ivy Pearson in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde brings emotional depth and complexity to a story of terror and transformation. As a barmaid who becomes entangled with Dr. Jekyll and his darker alter ego, Ivy is both a victim and a survivor. What makes Ivy so compelling is her vulnerability and her courage. Hopkins portrays her as a woman who wants to escape a life of hardship, but who refuses to give in to fear. Ivy's interactions with both Jekyll and Hyde are charged with tension, as she navigates a world that is often cruel and indifferent. Hopkins's performance is heartbreaking. She gives Ivy a dignity and humanity that make her plight all the more affecting. Even when faced with danger, Ivy doesn't give up hope. She fights for her own safety and dreams, refusing to be broken by the forces around her. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is a story about the darkness within us all, but Ivy Pearson stands as a beacon of resilience. Her story is a reminder that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the determination to go on despite it. Cleopatra. Claudette Colbert's Cleopatra in Cleopatra is the ultimate power player. As the legendary Queen of Egypt, Cleopatra is cunning, charismatic, and utterly magnetic. Colbert's portrayal captures both the grandeur and the humanity of a woman who shaped the course of history. Cleopatra's boldness comes from her intelligence and her willingness to do whatever it takes to protect her kingdom. She is a master of strategy, using her charm and her wits to outmaneuver both allies and enemies. Colbert plays her as both regal and relatable, giving us a queen who is as complex as she is commanding. The film is a visual feast with lavish sets and costumes, but it's Colbert's performance that anchors it all. Cleopatra is not just a figurehead. She is the architect of her own destiny. Her relationships with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony are marked by passion and politics, but Cleopatra never loses sight of her ultimate goal, the survival and prosperity of her people. In an era when women were rarely allowed to wield power on screen, Colbert's Cleopatra stands as a testament to ambition, intelligence, and grace under pressure. She is both a ruler and a woman, and she refuses to sacrifice one for the other. Grusenskaya. Greta Garbo's Grusenskaya in Grand Hotel is a portrait of longing and resilience. As a world-weary Russian ballerina, Grusenskaya is haunted by loneliness and doubt, but she remains a commanding presence wherever she goes. Garbo's performance is iconic. Her expressive face and subtle gestures convey volumes of emotion. Grusenskaya is at a crossroads in her life, unsure if she can go on, but she finds unexpected hope in a chance encounter with a charming stranger. The film delicately explores themes of despair, love, and the possibility of renewal. What sets Grusenskaya apart is her vulnerability. Unlike some of the other bold women on this list, her courage is quieter, but no less powerful. She fights not with sharp words or grand gestures, but with the determination to keep moving forward even when all seems lost. Grand Hotel is a classic ensemble drama, but Garbo's Grusenskaya is its emotional center. Her story is a reminder that boldness can take many forms, from defiance to tenderness, from laughter to tears. In the end, Grusenskaya chooses life, and in doing so, she inspires everyone around her. These women weren't just ahead of their time, they were rewriting the very definition of courage and independence on screen. If you enjoyed this journey through Hollywood's wildest years, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into classic cinema's most remarkable stories. Which bold pre-code heroine inspired you most? Let us know in the comments below, and stay tuned for more untold legends from film history.